So the number one question that I get asked when it comes to a new student, someone looking to play guitar, if they don't have one already, is what kind of guitar should I get? What am I looking for? Well, I've broken it down. There's really three different types of guitars that you can get, and they each have their own pros and cons. So let's talk about them and show them real quick. Now, the first kind is probably one of the more popular ones, and this is called an acoustic guitar. Specifically, this is a steel string acoustic. Now, to be honest with you, this is a guitar that has strings that are made out of steel, and then the bottom ones are wrapped in a phosphor bronze or something like that. Now, this is honestly probably the hardest guitar to play because the strings are heaviest and they're the highest tension. So your fingers are going to hurt when you first start to learn how to play this one, okay? But this is the most popular kind of guitar. If you hear any song on the radio, 99.9% of the time, it's being played on one of these guitars. The acoustic guitar is the one that you typically hear in the background of everything. So this is probably the most popular one, and if you're looking to play for friends, for family, playing different types of songs, I'd probably go with something like this. Now, one of my favorite packages or favorite manufacturers that are out there is Yamaha. They make a great quality guitar. The action is low, so it's easy to play on the fingers. There are a lot of good choices out there, but this is probably one of the ones that I would recommend for a first-time guitar player if you're learning to play. Now, it all depends on the type of music that you want to play too, because there's another kind of acoustic guitar that's out there, and that is the classical guitar or nylon string guitar. Now, this guitar is a little different by several different factors, okay? One thing is that the strings are not steel, they're not metal. These strings are nylon, so it looks like fishing wire on the top three strings. And that means that it's very, very easy to push the strings down. They're also a little thicker, so it's not going to cut into your fingers while you're developing your calluses. So this is probably the easiest one to play. But unfortunately, it's also one of the least popular ones. You don't hear a lot of this on the radio, on songs that are out there. This is used a lot in Spanish guitar, that kind of stuff, so a lot of Latin will use this. Another big characteristic difference in this is the nut width up here, the width of this. So typically this is a lot wider than your standard acoustic and electric guitar, which means that the strings, the space between the strings is bigger. And that really works for sausage fingers like this. So when you're trying to play certain notes, it's easy to only hit that one string and not the other strings around it. So this is a good guitar to start off if you're going for kind of that Spanish sound. If you have very sensitive fingers or you're concerned about that, playing this might be a little easier. But it's not that good for small hands because of the size of the neck and stuff. And then finally, the one that a lot of people want to jump into is the electric guitar. Now, the electric guitar, again, is one of the more popular ones if you're into rock or something like that. Classic rock, even modern stuff. You're probably going to be wanting to look into an electric guitar. So electric guitar does have some thinner strings than the acoustic. They are still steel, but they're much thinner. They don't have to be as heavy because it doesn't need to make an acoustic sound. So I can play this, but the downside of an electric guitar is that obviously it's tough to hear. So when you buy an electric guitar, that means you've got to pony up for an amp as well. And the amp is going to be an added cost to it. So though electric is probably one of the more fun options, it is definitely not the cheapest one. So I hope that gave you a little info on the different types of guitars that are out there. They're all different types, and even within these different genres, there's all different variations that are in there. That's why us guitarists like to collect guitars. We end up having 5 or 6 of them because of that, as you can see on my wall behind me. But take your time, ask around, ask the people at the stores, try them out. You're going to want to pick one that excites you, that's best for you, and that matches the genre or the sound that you want to create. So even though the acoustic guitar might be the toughest on your fingers, that doesn't mean that that's the wrong one for you. If you were going for that singer-songwriter kind of acoustic vibe, then that's the one you want to choose. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope this helped you out in deciding what kind of guitar you should get. If you have any questions about any of them, feel free to leave a comment below and keep on picking.